Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this new project that Kevin Gallagher and I have been starting. Obviously, you know me as well. My name is Kevin Bradley, and we are sorry to inform you that you've once again found yourself stuck in K-Guard, the name we're currently running with until we come up with something better. Anyone out there with a better idea?
Stuck with it too. Yeah, we're gonna have a contest.
Anybody out there with a better? Hey, I think we get a few episodes.
It was a good start.
Before we're fully.
You, Kev. You did a good job with the intro reel. It actually comes out nice. It's.
Hey man, listen. If anyone out there actually knows what they're doing, fucking hit us up. We'll throw you a few bucks to make this whole thing look a lot prettier. And thank you so much to all the love we got on the last episode. It really meant a lot. And I want to give a special shout out right at the start to one Christopher Noonan, the music maestro behind that incredible opening track that created the last episode and this one. It's called Greetings from Pluto. It's a part of his album under the epithet Jaga the Wise on Spotify. It's Archipelago Volume 1. Link down below to check out his stuff. He just put out a new album, Slow Hondas. And the man is an incredibly talented individual, also an artist. He has got his very own jiu-jitsu themed clothing brand called MIKOTO. They do limited drops. So go to the link down below and see what he's got in stock for you. It's some high quality gear. It's a conversation piece everywhere you go. I've been asked where I got it at like Grappling Industries and different events. So once again, that is Jaga the Wise on Spotify and Apple Music, as well as MIKOTO Brand for all your clothing needs. And if anyone out there has their products that they would love to get sponsorship ad spots for, we're currently selling them. So hit us up in DMs at our social medias that will be linked down below to discuss more about that, because it's an evolving process. And as well, if you're currently enjoying the VOD of this podcast, please like and subscribe. It's something that we keep forgetting. I keep forgetting to say, but it's very important because it shows that you're focused on us. And this page is going to be host to a few other different projects that both Kevins on this show will be doing it at different spots. I might have something coming down the pipeline later this week that we might be able to tease a little bit later. So yeah, just a little bit of love to all of our friends and fans at the outset, and now we can just get right into it, even though it's very late and we're both like currently being buffeted by storms. Me in Buffalo and Kevin Gallagher in Florida.
We're burning the midnight oil recording this one, guys. It's been a long day. But hey, we are here for you, getting things done, working it out, making it happen.
And when an MMA fighter fights a former rapper at the VMAs, we just had to go and get this episode going.
The BJJ world wants to know.
This. Okay, so for anyone not aware, Conor McGregor almost got into a fight with Machine Gun Kelly, the guy that took the biggest L in rap history when he tried to mess with Eminem a while ago. And now he's with Megan Fox. He seems happy, so good for him. And no one has any idea really what happened. There's some allegations that Conor McGregor wanted a picture with Machine Gun Kelly, and Kelly said no. And the Irishman almost fought him. This whole fucking thing is so stupid. And it makes me so sad to talk about. I'm dying. My cells in my body are dying. I'm getting cancerous, poison. I was literally I talk about this.
I was literally watching my roommate look at it on his phone, and they were having an interview with Ja Rule, breaking down the actual fight. But it was just one of the most ridiculous moments I've had. Like Ja Rule, here's Ja Rule outside the red carpet to explain to us what happened between Machine Gun Kelly and Conor McGregor. Just Conor, goddamn you, Conor. What the fuck is wrong?
Coke is a hell of a drug, man.
It's a hell of a drug, man. Hell of a drug.
I want to know how Ja Rule gets to walk out of his house without people throwing shit at him. Let's actually talk about that. Fuck this nonsense. I want to talk about.
He was all up on the what was
the Fire Festival,
right? The Fire Festival.
Yeah. How do how do people let that guy have a normal life? Like he didn't have to serve any jail time. He didn't have to like
I
get
think the other
punished in
cat
any
was
real way.
I think the other cat was more of the mastermind behind the whole thing, and I think Ja Rule may have been just taken for a ride like everybody else, but
Dude,
he did
no.
put his
If
name
you
on it.
no. You need to see
That's solid. That's
the
been a while since I saw it. It's pretty
the
bad.
document. I mean, like he was there. He was on
They
investor
all knew it was all
calls.
bullshit.
They
Yeah.
all were aware. They like obviously they were not the worst in the situation, but everyone in that documentary that's like, oh no, we tried to stop. You could have fucking stopped it, home.
What were we gonna do? No, motherfucker.
It's
Like
like we
you
were
knew,
just doing it, and it's
you
like
knew when you got past the point of no return how horrible it was going to be. You know what you do? You call people and say, unfortunately, it didn't work out. We're going to have to return your money, or you just say, hey, you know what? We're not going to return your money, and you take your licks when you get them. But I don't know. That's
yeah.
here nor there.
I think we can put the final seal on this situation as fuck everybody. Honestly, Conor seems like just an asshole that wanted to fight because
Well,
I guess that's where he's at.
I watched whatever I saw with a little bit of clips of it. It looked like Machine Gun Kelly was on the red carpet with Megan Fox doing some kind of an interview, just kind of what I saw. And I don't know if it's the facts or not, but it just seems to be what I saw, what I extrapolated out of whatever data that I had in front of me on YouTube. And it looked to me like Conor McGregor was like, hey, Machine Gun Kelly, let me get a picture. And Machine Gun Kelly
Hey,
was
Boone.
like, dude, I'm doing a
Boone,
fucking
come and get a
interview.
picture.
Yeah. I mean, and it looked like Conor McGregor was like 4 rows back trying to scrape his way up to come talk to him. And then he got mad, and I guess a drink got knocked over, and then he threw a drink at Machine Gun Kelly. It was just a whole silly episode of another ridiculous moment in the life and times of Conor McGregor. Billionaire madness.
At this point, it feels like Conor, with his career being the way it is, it feels like when he was 15, Satan or Mephistopheles, some demon came to him, and Beelzebub rose from the earth and said, hey, I'm going to make you the hottest shit in fighting. You're gonna earn more money than LeBron 1 year. You're gonna make a ton of money off of shit whiskey, and you're gonna have one of the best highlight reel knockouts on Jose Aldo, one of the greats. Caveat being, it's gonna sour so fast. It's like you're gonna get to this point, and it's gonna absolutely crater, and it's gonna just, your image is gonna be bad. You'll still be rich. You'll still be rich, but you'll just be addicted to all the drugs, and no one will like you.
If there was
like,
ever
I'll
a
take that deal.
superstar, if there was ever a superstar like him and Shia LaBeouf, I think are racing with one another to be the first meteorite to plummet to the ground and self-destruct. God, it's not looking good for Conor. I don't know. He keeps getting himself in these crazy situations. You're fighting Machine Gun Kelly on the red carpet of the MTV Music Awards. What in the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what the fuck kind of alternate reality are you living in right now? You're worth the fucking $100 million, $500 million. The fuck is wrong with you? Relax.
With how
Kelly
tall,
take a picture with you. Go buy his record label.
Yeah,
go buy his record. Go buy his record label. Then say, hey, gasshole, I'm your boss. Come take a picture with me. What the fuck is wrong with this fucking guy? Go buy MTV. get an investment group together to buy MTV, and you can tell them all to fuck off.
Okay,
was it the MTV Music Awards video? I don't even know what the fuck it was. I think it was.
Okay, real quick. Machine Gun Kelly, I'm looking it up off screen. Machine Gun Kelly's worth $10 million. So
you made that last month.
You could buy this guy a few times.
Yeah. Why are you gonna fight it? What the fuck is wrong with you?
With how big, like Machine Gun Kelly is a tall guy. He's a lanky dude, but he's tall. And seeing Conor like not even be able to reach, it's just kind of funny. It's like
still whacked his ass.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's not a good look. It looks like you're an angry little short guy.
Like you're an angry short guy, pissed off because he wouldn't let you touch Megan Fox's.
Yeah, no. He's probably just like, your girl's in my DMs, and then Machine Gun Kelly's like, I absolutely not. Like
Yeah,
for
who knows?
like
Who
I'm
knows?
gonna bet a lot on no
Yeah, who
for
knows?
that.
Who knows?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no on that one, Chief.
The world,
Oh
the world just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
yeah,
It's
man.
just
All right,
insane to
so
me.
all right, like
Speaking of cross dressers, don't we have another?
eh,
Don't we have a good
we're
segue?
2 episodes in.
Normally you're the one. Normally you're the segue guy, but I couldn't let that one slide. Don't we have another
Okay.
mixed gender?
We're gonna get into that, and I want to say at the outset, fuck Conor McGregor, and two, we are incredibly supportive of the trans
Yes.
community. Kevin Gallagher is currently it is 11 o'clock at night,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
he didn't mean that, and we're just gonna go forward. I'm not gonna edit that out because
We'll run this by legal tomorrow and see how it
we're gonna say occasionally doing long form media, you say things that you don't mean, and we want you to know we're all love here. We're fully
Absolutely.
supportive and
Absolutely.
inclusive, and we are
Absolutely.
sorry about that. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
have a stroke one day.
don't let Kim see this one.
Hey, she'll kick both of our ass. I'm
She'll
supposed
write
to be
hate
like,
mail to herself for us.
but yes, there is a big story in the transgender sports world, specifically with MMA. Alana McLaughlin fought Celine Provost and took home a submission finish. Really impressive rear naked choke. She was in danger on the feet a little bit, but it was a pretty competitive match, and there have been a lot of questions raised from political pundits outside and inside of the sport as to whether or not transgender athletes have a place in sports, but specifically with combat sports like MMA, it's always had the conversation's been a little bit more heated just because there's punches being thrown, and there have been a lot of allegations that transgender women coming in from transitioning from male to female have a lot of advantages, and that they should be not allowed to compete. And I want to have this conversation with good faith in that everybody here is learning. We're all trying to learn more and develop a well-informed opinion. And assuming this podcast goes to 100 episodes, there's every chance we will feel completely differently and be better equipped to talk on the subject by then. So if this ages really poorly, I want to set it up at the outset that we're learning. We're
learning.
two
We're learning as we
galooks,
go. It's a work in
and
progress.
we're trying our best, and we want that known to all of our potential
You're good.
transgender fans
You're
out
good.
there.
I think they're
that we're
cool with it
trying.
by now. If they're not,
look,
we just made it weirder, so it's fine.
I mean, hey, look, you can only dot your T's and cross your I's with stuff like this. So, Kev Gallagher, I will pass it to you. This is a tough situation. What's your read on it?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me be the asshole to make the. Thank you for washing your hands of the situation and setting me up to be.
I'm a real Pontius Pilate. I'm just.
I see that. I like the way you work that in there, Kev. What do you feel about it?
No. You don't know. I might feel a way about it.
The problem is this. I first of all, I didn't really watch. I didn't see the fight yet. I've seen all the hoopla of it. I've seen all the pictures, and I've seen all the pot shots, and I think partially, the major part of the problem with all of this is the same kind of issue. The fact that, right now we live in a society where headlines are king and no one really reads the context. So if you look at this from a headline point of view, former male athlete, segues, what's the word? Transforms into transitions,
yeah,
into a female and beats a natural born woman in an MMA fight. Yeah, I mean, that sounds devious and horrible. But from your explanation of it, it didn't necessarily seem like it was that overmatched of a fight. And to add to that, just from the reality of things, and there's been tons of jokes and tons of comedians out there that can kind of talk about this in the same manner. Like, there are more than a few trans women out there, trans men out there that haven't even had the actual operations and whatever hormone things that change them over.
Hormone therapy, yeah.
You couldn't tell the difference between a male or a female. Like, I know quite a few of them. Again, I've been in the gay community for a long time. I know quite a few freaking transgender women that you'd see them on the street. You have no idea that was a man. So here's the point. At first glance, you read the headline and think to yourself, okay, transitioned man beats up woman in an MMA fight. It sounds horrible. And everyone's like, oh, that's horrible. Can't ever have that happen. But the reality of it is, I guess, sometimes it's contingent upon case-to-case basis. And if you look at those two women, standing next to her, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Again, not for me to judge. I don't care. I have my own opinions, but I'm not the one to judge it. If you want to call yourself a woman, I don't give a fuck. Call yourself a woman. I don't give a shit. But when you look at them two standing side by side, it didn't necessarily look like it was an overmatch. Now you can look at the before and after picture. You can say, because the dude used to be yoked and now he's not. But like, if you look at them now side by side, the comparison just isn't the same. Now, there are some women that have transitioned, or men that transitioned to women, that still maintain some very grizzly man features, big, strong hands, the density, bone density that testosterone has given them throughout a life of having testosterone through their bodies and all those other things like that. But it's such a weird, odd thing. I personally, and this is what I feel, and again, I am sorry if this is upsetting to anyone out there. It's hard for me to reconcile the idea of a man that's transitioned into a female, or now all of a sudden decides that they want to, be acknowledged or recognized as female, to be able to say, okay, well, cool, now I'm going to go enter into a female sport, even though I was male for the entirety of my life. Like, what are we really even working for now? What are we even doing now? Are we even going to have male and female sports now? We're just going to have them all together, because there's a lot to be said when we talk about the death of female sports. If we allow males to continue to compete with the females, it's just, they are bigger, stronger, faster, and have more physical attributes. It's the facts. It's just the way life has made them.
I see where you're coming from, and I do think that there's a lot to be said about maintaining integrity in sport and looking out for people trying to circumvent fair play. I don't, but I've done a lot more reading about this, just because I feel like when I was younger, I got a lot of just my talking points from more conservative YouTube channels and talking heads. And as I've gotten older, I want to look outward more and try and grow. And I do think there's some things that don't get talked about enough, specifically when it comes to transgender participation in sports. And one of the big ones is that before being cleared to fight, McLaughlin was tested for her hormone levels, and they were brought down to a certain level by use of medications. So she was not operating with the capacity she would have had she just gone in, unaltered, as with her original male testosterone. I mean, she was a special forces soldier that just she looked like she could kill me just by looking at me.
American, right? She's American.
Yeah, she was an American special forces soldier. Right. And obviously there's looking at her now, there is a significant loss in muscle mass. There's a lot of variables that I think are positive. Like, okay, this is not that person competing in the same sport by a long shot. And I think the other part that gives me pause is that there are women with naturally higher levels of testosterone. There are women with a huge number of physical advantages. Like the biggest one in jiu-jitsu that routinely gets, mocked and called a lot of mean names, Gabby Garcia. Are we going to tell Gabby Garcia, one of the most dominant women competitors of all time, that she can't compete in the bracket where she was born? She was born a woman. She's identified that as that her entire life. Can we just tell her, hey, look, you have a lot of physical advantages that separate you from the pack in a lot of big ways? I don't think I can tell her that she can compete as a woman, even though she's a woman?
I think the major defining answer to this, and this is God, I don't even get into this fucking shit because I'm gonna get hate mail for this, but it's it's kind of consistent with a lot of the world we live in right now. It's like, I am not a fucking scientist. I did
Yeah.
not study the effects of male hormones on the human body, and the effects of their lack of, taking the hormones away, changing hormones over, their ability to perform and performance. I don't know anything about that shit. I know a little bit about it because I can read a couple articles, but I did not dedicate my life and degree in the pursuit of studying this like many people that have okayed this have. And based upon whatever matrices those people came up with, who are way more intelligent on the subject and the topic than me and you are, they seem to think it was okay. It's just goddamn, Kev. It's just really hard for me to wrap my head around that. As someone that has come up in the athletic world and competed at the in all facets from a very young age to where we are now, to see instances where we have now college students and high school students that are starting to lose out because their male counterparts have decided to transition over and are now obviously dominating them as transgender. It's just again, we're looking at articles, sound bites, headlines. Who knows how accurate they are? Who knows how prevalent they are? Depends on who's posted what. It just seems to me that you can make a choice in your life. You absolutely can. If you want to decide to be female because, or whatever, if you believe that God has made you female or whatever, you were born female in a male's body and you need to change over to do that, that's fine.
If you know in your guts that's what you are, that's you go for it.
It's hard. It's very, very difficult for me to say, okay, well, that is fine now, and you should be allowed to go ahead and compete in a competitive manner against females just because you decided one day that you're a female. It makes me very, very upset. And I'm not upset. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around that. And I'm basing that upon maybe ignorant assumptions that aren't based in science or aren't based in any kind of factuality, but like my internal moralism, like my cousins are girls, both college athletes. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to start giving scholarships away? Are there going to be people that are going to transition because they couldn't get a male scholarship that's going to transition to female? Because it'll happen. Fuck it, I'm a chick now. Let me get that scholarship. I don't know that. I shouldn't speculate on that.
No, but like these are like, listen, these are questions that are being brought up on major news channels in a lot of different circles. And I think that this is, because of the way a lot, like most people, people in the United States, unfortunately, these are a lot of new ideas. And I think the biggest part is if it's known that you're trying to see all sides of something, onboarding can take some time,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone is expecting to instantly understand everything overnight. So I just want to end with this specific instance, just because we're not going to solve everything right now. You and me, we are not
What do you mean?
doctors.
I think we're getting to the bottom of this, Kev.
Yeah. I want to just say that McLaughlin and Provost, these are two people that got into the cage and agreed to compete against one another, and they did. And there was a winner and a loser. And at the end, they seemed very cordial, and it was an agreed upon contest. They competed,
It didn't seem like either one of the participants was perturbed at all by that. But that doesn't necessarily make it right, because we can go on to the next conversation I'm sure we're going to talk about is Evander Holyfield and Peter Belfort. Both guys were cool with that.
But then you get it. But with unfortunately with Evander Holyfield, you get into different questions over elderly person's ability to consent to something, especially someone impaired from decades of boxing. I think that that's a little bit different. You could argue that Evander Holyfield might not be in the best frame of mind to make an informed decision about.
Most fighters are not in the best frame of mind. I don't mean to cut you off, but most
That's
fighters
true.
are not. That's why coaches are there to protect them from themselves, because every fighter wants to be like, I'll fight anybody. I don't give a shit. Well, you know what? You should, because that guy's going to murder you. You know, and it's not good for your record. It's not good for your career, blah, 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 or maybe for your fucking health, because you might die.
I just watched that one of those Untold documentaries on Netflix. Have you seen them?
No, which one?
It's a bunch of sports like little mini documentaries, and I saw one about Christy Martin.
Oh, dude. I wanted to watch that. I never watched it. Is it good? Because I was I grew up. I was about 10, 15-ish, maybe a little bit younger. And that's when boxing was at prime time. I used to watch the fights with my dad on HBO all the time. And I remember when that shit was going down, Christy Martin was like the originator when it came to females in combat athletics.
She was the blueprint. You know, she was the first.
I should watch that again. I bet it was a really good documentary.
It is hard. It's hard to watch.
They've exploited the fuck out of her and every other woman.
They got an interview with they got an interview with the husband in prison. It's
really?
It is.
Oh, I don't know. Don't tell me, because I want to watch it.
Yeah,
I want to watch it because I forgot all about that shit.
But there's a part of it is they go into her fight with Layla Ali, and they just go into how, you know, she was like it behind the scenes, her management, her coach, everyone was like pushing her to go up in weight to fight prime Layla Ali when she was, you know, the older, smaller fighter. And everyone's just going, someone should have said no. She didn't need to do this.
Right.
Just Christy Martin, you know, she like the size difference and the power difference is just
money, baby.
Nonsense.
All about the money. Hard to say that when you got somebody give you a check with 7 zeros on it, 6 zeros on it.
Dude, I'm not gonna, to everybody out there as well, I'm not gonna spoil everything. You gotta go watch
I want to watch it.
It's so good. I'm gonna watch it again. Also, after that one, you gotta go watch the one about the Danbury Trashers, because this is my home, like a town right next to where I grew up had a hockey team that was run by one of like John Gotti's lieutenants. And it was awesome. It was the first professional hockey game I'd ever went to, was the Danbury Trashers, and it's a story about how the mob that controlled this hockey team.
I'm looking for shit to watch.
Dude, I watched those two. That's really.
I watched Clickbait. That was pretty good. You seen that yet? That was pretty good on Netflix.
Clickbait. That's that movie with the Entourage guy.
Entourage.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it.
It was decent. It has a couple aha moments.
Oof.
The one I'm watching right now that's pretty good is it's on Hulu. Steve Martin and Martin Short.
House Full of Murderers.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
half-hour episodes. You blow right through them.
Oh man, I'm like really cool. I'm 4 seasons deep on. My brother convinced me to watch Peaky Blinders. That's like
that's a good one too.
Yeah, I'm like really down with that one.
New season should be coming out soon. I think it's the last season too. It should be coming out. Speaking of Conor McGregor.
I mean, like, yeah, no, I'm full all the coke. I'm like, that show has made me full on.
Right, that's literally
full on. Now, like in my bones, I'm like Sigma Grindstead. Hell yeah,
Peaky Blinders. You mean Peaky Blinders? You mean the Conor McGregor story?
Oh my god, those guys didn't do as much coke as Conor McGregor. I feel like.
Debatable.
Debatable. All right, this is a jiu-jitsu podcast. Right?
What are we talking about? We're still talking about
I was really excited to talk about this at the beginning, but now I kind of just want to talk about shows. But let's talk a little bit about a story that you and I have been. It's sort of a long time coming for us, because one of the biggest things and favorite things that we've ever talked about is the Gordon Andre potential matchup. You know, that back when we were working with the JJT, that was like a big episode for us, was going into that, the ins and outs of that, the fallout of the slap. There's a huge storyline. And now the ADCC Instagram, a few days ago, let me bring it up. I'm not as quick on the draw as I used to be, but share screen. I will fix this and post. And it's all gonna look great, and we're good, and boom! They pulled the trigger on the announcement. ADCC 2022. Andre Galvao, one of the most decorated ADCC athletes of all time, will be finally facing off against the king himself, Gordon Ryan. What are you thinking on this, man?
Man, I'm super excited to watch it. I think it's amazing. Obviously, it's going to be great, but I'm kind of fucking over it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Not really. This story has had so many ups and downs and so many twists and so many sideways and this and that. It's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, Andre Galvao and Gordon Ryan are going to fight. That's great. It's kind of like the what is it, the Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. Like, these guys talk shit for so fucking long, and then by the time they fought, nobody gave a shit anymore. I'd still give a shit. I don't think this is the same case. I think lots of people are still super excited to see Andre Galvao and Gordon Ryan go against each other. There's lots of ifs. Is Gordon Ryan going to be healthy enough? Obviously, he will be. He's shown time and time again. God, he's been competing at fucking 50, 75% the entirety of his career with that damn staph infection that ruined his stomach up. So I'm sure he'll be ready to go. Andre's going to be ready to go. Andre's a little bit old. That hurts. Was he 38 now?
I feel like he's 30. He was 39 last.
Yeah, he might be 40. I mean, it's a 40-year-old fucking man. You know what I mean? Like, going against.
I feel like there would have been news if he had finally turned.
But he's
40.
close. He's close.
38. I mean, he's 38 still.
Yeah, he retired. I mean, he didn't want to compete anymore. So he's coming back now. He's going to be ready. He's going to want to do this. It's just, does he have enough in the tank to really withstand what Gordon Ryan's going to bring to him? I mean, all of these things are big ifs. Gordon better also recognize, though, and I'm sure he's ready for it. But Andre Galvao ain't no bitch, man. Andre Galvao, and he's going to play a very smart, very intelligent game, just because he always has. He's going to figure out a way to do what he has to do. They're going to start standing. I don't know that Gordon will be able to handle the pressure that Andre is going to bring to take him down. Who knows? I'm not trying to pick sides. Obviously, I'm just trying to find a world where Andre Galvao could beat Gordon Ryan, to tell you the truth. I still think Gordon's going to win, if that's what you really want to ask me. But it's not an automatic. There's lots. That's what makes these things intriguing, because there's lots of what ifs.
I feel like the only guy Andre spars with the entire training camp is just going to be Felipe Pena, and he's just going to do back takes.
Yeah,
tell me, teach me how to take the back all the time.
I really think Gordon today would murk Felipe Pena without even a hard. The Felipe Pena the Gordon that beat Felipe, or the Gordon that Felipe beat is not the Gordon that we're going to see today.
I think it really, you set it up well. It's going to come down to how healthy Gordon's stomach is. If he's truly, lessened the ulcers to the point where he can train really hard, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a game changer.
Gordon's so special, though. He really is. He's just, there's no other word to describe Gordon Ryan.
He's definitely special. That's one word for it.
We'll see, though. I mean, obviously, it's going to be the biggest jiu-jitsu match since Roger and Buchecha. I don't think there's enough. It's going to be bigger than Roger. That's the biggest, arguably the biggest jiu-jitsu match of all time. I mean, it's huge match.
It's weird. I think in terms of it's weird. I think in terms of the storyline, there's a lot of drama and heat because of how it went down. But I feel like with Roger and Buchecha, it was more about just skill. It's just these are two of the best, and the fact that that their rivalry was able to exist on that level alone. It was never Buchecha slapped the shit out of house girlfriend or something.
Right. Yeah. He didn't call his school and say all his kids sucked, and none of that shit went down.
He never keyed his car or something.
This is the world we live in now. There's got to be some disrespect to garner attention. That's just what we do now. That's how life works.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that the level of skill we're gonna see is still gonna be exceptional?
Oh yeah,
Like,
it'll be an amazing match. I mean, it'll be awesome. Both these
is
guys are still the two best grapplers on the planet right now.
is it? You think it's gonna be a long one?
I mean, if Andre's gonna win, it will be. I don't see too many situations where Andre Galvao submits Gordon, but goddamn, wouldn't that be amazing? How fucking awesome would that be if
I
Andre Galvao got the write off on a white horse while like choking fucking Gordon Ryan unconscious? Not saying it's gonna happen,
I think
but
he's gonna
how
he's gonna
amazing would
go
it be?
full. He's gonna go full. Like sacrilege, like straight up, like with the thought. I think he's gonna ride a donkey into into the arena, have palm leaves laid out in front of him,
I think.
just like fully go in with the power of God. He's gonna be drenched in like holy water.
I mean, I don't even know. It's just there's so many questions. So many questions. 20-minute match is such a long fucking time. And like, I'm pretty certain Andre will be able to get through it. But man, like it's dude, he's 30 fucking 8 years old now, man. That's old, man. That's fucking old. and I'm sure he's gonna be in shape. I'm sure he's gonna be ready to go. And I'm sure they're paying him a shit ton of fucking money to do it. But dude, this is another thing too, Kev. It ain't until them two motherfuckers step on the mat and smack hands and they ring a bell. It didn't happen yet. I don't care what anybody says. This shit is
It's still in
still
flux.
still in the back of the mind. It's still just there until it happens. It happens. Until it happens, it hasn't happened yet. We're still waiting on
Honestly,
that.
that it sucks, but I truly don't have any care for this match. Maybe it's
I
just
don't.
because of how goober like baby bullshit their whole beef has been. Like
Yeah,
they like a guy literally slapped another guy,
yeah.
and
It's
that's like the biggest thing to happen in this. One dude asked for a lot of money, and the other dude slapped that first dude. Obviously, like just to like disregarding their skill. Like the storyline here is just not for me. I'm
and
not really digging it. And then Andre
Kevin.
pulled the bullshit with the 30-minute apology, and then right at the end he's like, "Fly sale on all my shit.
Kevin,
Go buy."
and let me just tell you something, Ron. This is just of an observational standpoint. I'm not even saying I agree or disagree with this. Maybe it is. Maybe this is not necessarily my personal views, but like, could you possibly pick two people that are more disliked in general by the jiu-jitsu community than Gordon Ryan and Andre Galvao? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, yes,
I mean,
no,
if we
I
go
guess Gordon
here,
Ryan. There are people. He has his what's his sociopathic? What's the fucking word? But
sycophantic, like
sycophantic
sycophants.
followers. But
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of people out there that just don't give a fuck. That don't give a fuck if Gordon Ryan and don't really give a fuck about Andre Galvao either. To be honest with you, that
Well,
don't.
listen,
And I'm kind
Kev.
of in that group. To be
Hey,
honest with you.
Kev. I'm not gonna lie. There are a few people more hated in the community right now, and they're all
I
in your
know.
state.
I
So.
know. I know. No, but I mean, like
Oh, just like
in general,
for
yeah,
non
yeah.
like just in terms of just who they are. I feel
Yeah,
like
for people,
Andre's got a pretty solid following. I feel
they
like I think
both do, and I mean, it's both good. They're both followed for the quality of their jiu-jitsu. However, for the quality of them as human beings, I think there's a lot of people that are just like, oh, fuck these guys. Who gives a shit? And that's really kind of what it's about. There's no hero or winner in this position. They just want to see who the
yeah.
best is, and it's gonna be amazing jiu-jitsu. But God, it's just such a fucking ugh.
Well,
Oh,
my worst fear is that after all this, it's like Gordon Ryan, Kyle Bame, where he just like slowly like advances into mount and does an arm triangle because, and it's just like it's effective, but it's the most boring shit.
well, that'll probably be what's gonna happen. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I
He's got to get on top of Gordon Ryan. He's got to get up on top of Andre Galvao first. Good luck with that, because
I
Andre Galvao ain't gonna fucking pull guard.
maybe he does because like Gordon on bottom is fucking deadly. I mean, we know he's still like training with everybody in the B squad, like behind closed doors. So
Of course,
like, he's gonna.
Andre's gonna come hard, smack him in the face, and shake him around just like he did Felipe Pinion.
Yeah,
Hope that Gordon tries to wrestle with him for a little while. Who
yeah.
knows?
Well,
Whatever.
if he needs to, even if Andre gets starched, he can always like lie back on Gordon's fans have probably done more hate crimes than his fans. I think you can reliably say that.
Is that really the case though?
More of Gordon's fans were at the January 6th riots.
Yeah. Is that really the case though? You never.
That's true. Maybe
Yeah,
Andre's like his guys are a little bit more like covert. That's dangerous.
Long story short, am I excited to watch the match? Sure. Am I like glutton with anticipation and dying to? This is the only thing that's going to consume my mind until the match starts. No, fuck no. It's almost honestly in this week of news. It's a big story in this week of news, but it was almost like a third tier story, to be honest with you. And that's kind of sad.
I mean, yeah, when on paper one of the biggest matches that can happen is just sort of seen as like, yeah, this is like, yeah, this they really needed to throw this together because there's too much sad shit happening. Like, I don't know. It's honestly, you know what it's weird, but what I want to see more right now is a Tackett Wiltsey rematch.
Yeah, there's so many other
like those guys.
So many other more compelling matches on the jiu-jitsu circuit aside from these fucking two cocksuckers. I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
I'll take Nicky Rod versus Pat Downey in one of those dumb fucking hybrid shit.
Yeah, there's just so many.
Tackett. No. Pat Downey versus Nicky Rodriguez in a judo match.
Yeah. It's weird to me. I don't know anymore. It's just such a weird. Everything about this is odd.
Yeah. Emil Fisher versus the world in catch wrestling. Like, let's go. Let's do it. All right. Well, we're coming up on the hour, and we definitely need to talk about this before we do anything else. And
I forgot what else was on the agenda.
Oh, well, let me just remind you real quick, my guy. Towards the end of the at the end of the month, we've got the women's heavyweight who's number one championship division. Star-studded from pillar to post. A lot of familiar names: Elizabeth Clay, Gabby Garcia, Kendall, of course. And yeah, like
Aaron Harp. Don't forget my girl, Aaron Harp.
I never would. All of these guys are just fucking phenomenal competitors.
These are really like the females in this fucking.
It's a stacked card. It's a stacked card, man.
So stacked. Elizabeth Clay.
This is one I would want to fly out for. Honestly, I'll go to Austin again just to like.
I want to see that. I want to see the ranking. Who's ranked number one? These are all. So this is an absolute.
Oh, this is just like this is the world rankings, right. And Gabby Garcia is number 2 right now.
Right. So, this particular format is exciting, and I have to give it, as much as I don't want to give them credit, that the Who's Number One have done a good job with this format. It's really a good matchup. It's really fun to watch. They do the 15-minute matches, and then each 5-minute subsect has some form of a ref's decision, so during the match if you're behind or in front every 5 minutes. So the first match, what they'll do is they'll have the lights. It's actually pretty cool. So it's all sub only, but the refs will make a decision. And after the end of the first 5 minutes, they'll shine a red light or a blue light. And that is what the referees, if it's red, the red corner won the first 5 minutes. If it's blue, the blue corner won the first 5 minutes. And they'll do it again at the 10-minute mark. So in the last 5 minutes, whether or not where you're at in the match. And then in the last 5 minutes, if you're down by the next you got to get a submission. Or if you won the third, if you're if it's even, hey, look, we got to win this one, so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool to watch. It's actually not too bad. It's fun. It's a decent match, and man, that's a good arena. And Who's Number One does a good job.
Yeah, I gotta just peep the payouts. Like the champion of each division on the card is gonna get $30,000. Obviously, that's like taxes are gonna take a little bit out of that, but like shit, that's like.
You wonder where these fuckers are making that much goddamn money. I guess there's a lot of memberships they're selling on Flow Grappling. I guess they sell a lot of those.
I think that
$30,000 is a lot of money, man. That's a lot of $150,000,
really,
$150 a month,
really
$150 a year.
committing to obviously a lot of it's probably like investments. I doubt they
Yeah,
could really afford to raise.
sponsorship money and
It's a lot of different directions, but still the fully committing to putting on a show of their own was really a good idea. And I mean, so far it's one of the most complete products out there. No offense to Seth and Ryan, obviously, Fight to Win and Third Coast Grappling. Those are the other like two big names. And Polaris is doing their thing across the pond, but who's number one is really looking to be the best. And
yeah, it's just, I guess, I don't know. You have to find out if they've been cranking them out, so they must be doing something right. But it's a question of whether or not they can continue making it profitable. Let's see who else is on here. Amanda Levy's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Kendall's down here, I think.
Where's she at? Kendall
She's
Rushing.
fucking dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
all these good girls.
I mean, everyone you can only remember like their highlight reels whenever you see them. Like they're just so stand out. Are there any matchups you think would make the best final? Obviously, we're gonna get great matchups throughout the night just based on the card. But if you had to cater your final, who would you want to see?
Obviously I want to see my girl Erin go all the way to the end. I'm going to be out there coaching her. I'm excited about that. Yeah, Matt Arroyo has to go to a wedding, and she asked me if I wanted to come out there and coach her. Her and her husband, actually, Lewis, is a black belt too. So.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna be out there. I'm not sure if Matt's gonna be there or not, but I'll definitely be in Austin next weekend. I think I'll be in Austin next weekend. I bought my plane ticket.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's this weekend.
But obviously, Gabby's awesome. I think Elizabeth Clay is maybe my favorite female grappler. Right? I just love to watch her compete. I love her game. I think she's a conundrum for any of these girls with her flexibility. She's a big, strong girl. When you watch these matches, just like any other modern day jiu-jitsu practitioner, where you're starting to see the combination of two different distinct skill sets into one form of what professional grappling has become. Because even though this is a submission only matchup, these girls come out and they push the pace, they go hard, they work on positional transitions, they work on getting the better dominant positions to start working to win those positions and win the small little battles, because with the 5-minute breakdowns, you still have to do enough to convince the judges that you win. So you can't just go out there and sit and guard and do nothing, because if you don't get the submission, you don't win. You know what I mean? Like you got to get someone who pins you down on the ground for 15 minutes and you can't do anything from that. You have to push the pace. You have to be active the whole time. So you see a lot of these guys that are points grapplers that are doing very well just because they're used to that match. Like Aaron's a perfect example of that. However, you also have to be hunting for submissions. You have to be actively looking for submissions. You have to be actively looking to try to finish positions, because that's one of the criteria for the scoring. So
have you gotten the chance to ref under WNO rules?
No, I don't know. Yeah, none of that shit. No, I did. I was gonna do a fight to win once for Seth, but I never went out there and did it. He hit me up once when he comes to Tampa, when he comes to Florida, but I couldn't make it down there in time.
Dang.
But I mean, you're right. You're right in the fact that WNO, I hate to give Flo Grappling the credit, but they are doing a very good job with this event. And they're good dudes. They get a bad rap for being these fucking scumbags, I guess. I don't know. I mean, jiu-jitsu is full of fucking scumbags. I don't know what to tell you though. You're gonna bash Flo Grappling because they're a bunch of fucking scumbags. Like, we're all a bunch of fucking scumbags in this sport.
I think you gotta not paint with that big a wide a brush, because there are definitely tiers to being a scumbag. And
right,
I'm fine with praising Flo when they put out a good product, and I'm fine with criticizing them when they do stupid shit. That's why I just did a project with Emil that's going to come out and maybe prevent me from ever working with them.
Yeah, I'm not of the opinion that flow grappling is the evil empire. I don't like monopolies, if that's what you're asking me. I'm not a big fan of that. I like to have competitiveness, and maybe I'm a hater. I think a lot of people are haters on flow grappling because they're successful. And you can obviously make the debate that without flow grappling, we wouldn't have, they stepped up and picked up the slack by just putting these events on and giving people platforms to show their events. If we didn't have that, we might not have professional grappling right now.
I mean, they're the bad guy. Like they're the Vince McMahon commissioner character in jiu-jitsu.
But without them, we might not have it. We might not have a bad guy to be mad at.
I think that you can acknowledge that and still want to criticize them. Like that because they do good and because they brought the sport to a certain point does not mean they're above criticism. Like Dana White, you could definitely make the case that MMA as it is now would not exist without him, and without the Fertittas.
Right.
Does that mean you can't say, oh my God, they're doing like a lot of bad shit with fighter pay and a few other things? No, you can absolutely say that. Plenty of bad people, did good stuff for like local infrastructure. But I'd love to close on like Gabby specifically, just because with her, it's nice to see her get into some competition in her own division. Just because I feel like the last year and change has just been dominated with her in the Craig Jones fight. That's probably never going to happen, And it's good to see her just get back to like just competing with her peers and freaking killing
it. Not have to deal with no bullshit. And it's cool. It's cool to see Gabby out there exactly on the mat with girls that she can compete with. Girls that have actually beat her. Girls that have come very close to beating her. Lots of people think Elizabeth Clay beat her when they competed the last time.
Yeah.
The other girl has beaten her twice already. I can't remember her name because I'm lost, but like Gabby Garcia is not unbeatable, ladies and gentlemen. She is not this abominable force that is just blows through every female competitor she's ever gone against. She's definitely a beatable girl, and we're starting to see that. And I think we're starting. Maybe she's getting a little bit old. She's been competing for a long time. You got some new, young talent that's very hungry and very strong and very ready to go that want to try to bring it to her. Who's number one?
Nathalie DeJesus was the last one to beat Gabby, but obviously she's not. Her ADCC wins weren't consecutive. She won 4 of them, but spread out. So, I'm just really interested to see the event. I think it's going to be a really solid showing.
It's cool event. It's a lot of fun.
Fuck. I give more of a shit about this than like people are gonna call me a fucking like soy boy like liar, but I'm genuinely more interested in these matches than I am the fucking Andre thing. They've salted the earth on that so much that
it's such a disappointment because I'm so excited about it, and I'm just like, oh God, who gives a shit, really? Oh, cool. Andre and fucking Gordon are gonna fight. Awesome.
Yeah, they're gonna be paid way too much money for it. It sucks because like I want better pay for jiu-jitsu athletes, but like take it out of their pockets specifically.
Right. Exactly.
Like, you got
other people out there that are more deserving of it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole. I don't know. Maybe Gordon.
No, you're not an asshole. You're right. But that's an hour on the dot, man. So I feel like that is
on fuego.
We are at. I mean, actually, we bullshitted around a little bit before the start, so it might come in just under an hour. So I can fill time really easily.
Tell us a little joke.
I can tell us a little joke, and I can tell you who's been my under desk mate. He's been right under me the entire time. This is the secret third member of the team, Montezuma Bradley.
Dusty, come here. Come here, Dusty. He's just sitting on the chair. He won't come over to me. I'm not.
Hey, Dusty's off the clock.
Dusty's off the clock.
It's like 12 o'clock.
Screw you, buddy. It's too late. Too late. My contract specifically states that I do not do on-camera work past 11:30.
Yeah, Monty's a night owl though.
Hey, little kitty puppy. Hey, puppy.
He does the night
Hey,
shift.
puppy.
His brother's asleep in the back like a little turd.
Is that a little Aussie?
No, he's a Sheltie.
Sheltie.
And everybody on the audio podcast, just imagine the cutest little ball of shit on my lap, and he's just chilling, and he's gonna be there. And I think that's that's the perfect place to call it the second episode of Stuck in K-Guard. And you have officially escaped K-Guard. Thank you for sticking with us for the entire episode.
Thank you.
Do you want to say something? Do you want to say something? Are you good? He's a quiet dog. But just a few reminders. Anyone interested in advertising with us, please hit us up in either of the links down below. Special thanks again to Chris Noonan providing the intro and outro tracks. That is Greetings from Pluto. We might be using other ones. The entire track is fire. And go check out Slow Hondas as well as MIKOTO Brand. They're doing a ton of cool drops in the near future, and there's usually some surplus. So go see what he has in stock, and he'll send it out to you. Anyone you want to plug right now, or
no judges needed? Go check out No Judges Needed. Go get the gear.
No Judges Needed, your one-stop shop for all of your grappling apparel needs. I'm talking gis, rash guards, hoodies, and casual
We have
wear.
quite a few participants coming your way. I got Off Colonies, another one going to be coming. We've got some good stuff coming for you in the future.
We're going to be shouting out
big things happening.
We're going to be shouting out a ton of great brands and like initiatives that we care about. This is a platform by the community, for the community. We serve you, because without you, we wouldn't be able to keep the lights on, and we wouldn't have an excuse to meet at strange hours for strange meetings at night. But we got dogs.
Our dogs.
Oh yeah, this is a dog podcast. You want to go watch Peaky Blinders? He's Thomas Shelby. He's a little Shelby boy. Yeah. He's just like, I haven't paid attention to him enough tonight. But this has been I'm starting to feel the flow come back. So they're only going to get smoother and smoother from here on out. I've been your host, Kevin Bradley, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Kevin Gallagher, and with Montezuma right here. And you have officially escaped K-Guard. Until next time, where you get stuck and you spend an hour flailing around while we keep you stuck there. And be seeing you, man. Peace out.
See you guys.
See ya.
Nice work.